We are people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, on this planet ever. Maybe in the universe. You have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for man not to achieve. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double coil inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, and you put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nanotechnology, the nanomaterial which you have collectively developed in different ways, by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano and the plasma is all the same. So connection is very solid, it's very strong. The power of the plasma technology, the way we have thought, is beyond imagination of the man. Now you can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it, you are structuring it, and from today we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already become one planet. You got to remember one thing. Dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar, or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. We don't stop. We are working around the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to the Tuesday night Keshe Plasma Reactor group, as it's known as. And my name is Rick Crammond, and I've been running this group for 3 years or so now. And we meet on Tuesday nights and do show and tell for Keshe-related devices and concepts. All right, I'm here with several people here so far this evening, and I'm ready to show something cool on the screen if we have anything to show. I'm wondering if Robert might have something that he could allow us to share off the bat here. Otherwise, we can open it up to general conversation as well. comments or contributions off the bat here?
One thing I should bring up, Rick, your mic is not up to snuff tonight. It's really quiet, really muffled.
Okay, well, thank you. I will try to deal with that here. Let's see.
If you'd like some time to deal with that, I have a little bit to show, not anything special, but my latest bits and bobs.
Right. Well, let me just see if I can get the microphone to work a little better here. Um, yeah, if you want to share things, maybe that'll help, and I'll try to jog it here while you're working on that. I guess it seems okay in my live stream, but I can't really tell. So, are other people finding my voice not loud enough as well?
Hi Rick.
Hi, Robert.
Hi John. Hi guys. Yeah, today your voice is not as clear
Okay.
as usual.
I'm not trying
Yeah, it's loud, but it's very distorted for some reason.
Okay. Let me try to change it up here a bit. Is it any better now, or is it still not?
There we go. That's the
Oh yes, oh yes.
Huh. I selected the HD Pro webcam instead of my usual microphone, so we can give that a try. If that works, then that works. We good to go then?
Yes, we are. That sounds great.
Well, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that now rather than after the show is over. Okay, good. So you had some things to present there, John. Is that what you were saying?
Well, yeah, I just since I moved, I just got started on building up a new system. I got my gravitational coil ground on the Sunday, and working on a large quarter-inch copper pipe round cylinder, kind of putting that too.
Okay. Do you have something you want to show there then?
Sure. I can bring that up and
Okay. Make sure you do that.
And that should be the camera. There we go.
Yep. I'll spotlight you so you can see it.
And
Just a second.
there's
Here.
the
Just a second. Let me get.
gravitational coil.
There we go. Should we open the live stream? Beauty. Look at that, eh?
Yeah, there's my gravitational coil. After seeing the work that Whitney did on the manufacturer's meeting, I am absolutely jealous. So I studied those pictures and tried to do as good a job as she did. She did an absolutely beautiful system.
Sorry, who did? Your voice faded just at the moment. Who
Whitney from what is she from?
Whitney.
Not in the States, Central States, somewhere. I can't remember what state it was. But she was in. She's one of our budding manufacturers, and she did an absolutely beautiful job on her stacker system. The connections, it looks like plumbing. It's all perfect. I'm jealous.
Sorry to interrupt, Rick. There's a lot of feedback coming off of your system.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'm working on is that.
What do you have there?
That's a quarter-inch. It looks a lot bigger on the screen, but that's quarter-inch dead soft copper refrigeration tubing.
Yeah.
That's wound into a cylinder. I actually wound it around my big Maglite flashlight. So it's, I don't know, about inch and a quarter inside diameter, I suppose. And this is going to be, what I'm intending it for is sit it on the counter with the water running through it, so I get my drinking water out of this. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to configure it just yet, but that's the plan. And
I
one
see.
thing, if you notice, it's kind of blotchy. And one thing I'm going to suggest to everybody who's doing the copper tubing is get some 400 grit wet and dry sandpaper and polish it up really good with the 400 grit nano coat it.
Yep, that sounds good. There's some tests I've heard that take it up to 2,000 grit to polish it right now before nano coating. It makes it go a little smoother and easier.
Yeah, this is the process I'm using to coat it. And if you notice, the nano coating is climbing up the tube.
Oh yeah. But there shouldn't be any on the inside, so far as you know, I guess.
Not until it reaches the end and works its way back down. That's why the ends are sticking up out of the thing, because I don't want the coating in where the water's going.
Yeah.
I want to coat it with CO2 GANs and use that to condition my water, my drinking water, because the water here in Trail is horrible. You pour a glass of water and the fumes that are coming off it are just about stifling.
You mean the chlorine? Or?
Oh, yeah, they chlorine so heavily. It's I'm hoping, I want to try to figure out what sort of a mix I can make up to neutralize that chlorine and not have to drink it. Because I've spent the last 20 years living on living water that's bubbling down the side of a mountain. We just stick a hose in there and that's our drinking water. And I hate the chlorine. It's disgusting.
Yeah, not good. Agreed.
But that's where I'm right now, and things are moving really slowly because I still don't have a place to work. I got a piece of plywood for a table for my computer and one chair. I'm working my way up, building my furniture back up. You move out of a motorhome and you tend to have just everything in boxes.
Yes, no doubt. Well, that's great. What else do you have there? You got something else you want to show and tell? Or?
Well, that's essentially it. I made myself a new pen. I can't take it apart because I glued this one together, but this one is CO2 infused. And I used it on my knee, and the pain in my knee went away in like 10 seconds. It was amazingly fast. So I'm really happy. This is going to sit in my pocket and walk around with me everywhere I go. And anytime I see a kid fall down, I'm going to fix them up. And,
looking for kids that are falling down. Right.
Made a couple of ones, sort of combining the two processes where my original design, both of the coils were wound tight here and I only had one pin out. But I'm going to try this one with having both of the coil pins showing as well and see if that makes much of a difference. But yeah, that's essentially it. Just trying to get all set up and get moving and get ready for teaching.
Hey, John, I have a question. John, see the water filter that you have made. See, when the water flows through it, doesn't it change into GANs or some GANs?
It will be infused with the energy of whatever GANs I put on that coil. So if I put CO2 on it, technically there may be some other things involved, but technically when you drink that water, you just get really calm. I want to try to find a way to be able to mix specific GANs together to neutralize the garbage they're putting in the water, so I have nice clean water to drink.
Okay, so before that you have to check the salt level, the TDS,
Yes,
the salt.
I have a TDS meter, I have a pH meter. I can get direct readings right from just a glass of water, and you just dip the meter in it.
Okay.
So, and it's Narmada, right? That's speaking?
Yeah. Yes.
So you're worried about the TDS because you could have additional TDS, that is total dissolved salts, or solids rather. You would have more if by running through a system it might tend to precipitate out more substances. Is that what you mean, or just?
Yeah, because the TDS I have in my water, that tap water that it's giving me will be like 500. Actually, it should be much lesser. So we have a water filter like the Whirlpool or LG, something of that kind. So that will filter, but still it will be like 60, 50 to 100. but the normal tap water, it will be like 500, 600 in that range. So our salt level is really high. So that's why if we use this nano coated, I thought it's sure to make a GANS.
If I recall correctly, when that idea came out last week, the idea was to actually create the GANs of the garbage that's in it, and it will precipitate out. So you would need some sort of a settling tank.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Right.
And
Thank you, John.
once a year you'd have to clean the tank out, and I don't know what you'd do with the stuff that's in there, but it might be useful for power generation. Who knows?
Okay. So it's not a problem if we if it creates a GANs out of it and get settles in the bottom, right?
It should precipitate out, and you should have clean drinking water on the top levels, the top surface.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Another thing that might help with you guys out or in India is something that a friend of mine down in Peru is using, and that is EM, essential microorganisms, and he infuses that into a bioceramic, and he also filters his water through activated charcoal, and he is getting amazing water out of that.
Do we have a teaching on that?
No, not specifically, but if you get a hold of me after the show or sometime in the next few days, I can get you in touch with Dave, and he can explain how it works.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, John. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have, while you're on Narmada, do you have anything you'd like to report from your end for this workshop?
Rick, that actually I'm still not able to find a doctor. It's because the last week when I went, they said they need neuropediatrician. The one that she's coming here, she is like very. I mean, she's doing out of charity, but the thing is, she's already very busy and she cannot be here full time. So it's not only pediatrician; we need neuropediatrician, and so that's getting hard to find. But I said so until we find a doctor, I will come there and do the job until. But right now we need to make magraves for 3 magraves for each room, right? So that's that's per Mr. Keshe's advice. So
I
right
see.
now.
That's your goal for this point then, right? So do you have people to help you do that in India now?
Uh, uh, right now, I have messaged Ketan, and Abhi is a bit busy with the studies. So Abhinandan is a little bit busy. So
Mm-hmm.
I have spoke to Ketan. We'll see about it.
Okay, great.
Is there not a fella in India right now who's doing really, really good work? I wonder if we could get them in touch.
Yeah, I'm not
Can't remember
sure what's going on in the background. There's Abinamand, I think is his name.
Abhinav.
Abhinav. Yeah.
That's who Armada is already talking to.
Okay, right. Very good. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll get more results out of that situation as they come up.
Also, Rick, we have last week when I went, I spoke to the sister and they said they have an orphanage right beside this one, which is having orphanage kids for boys having HIV and AIDS. We can help them too, but it's just for boys, so I haven't approached them yet. I mean, the kids who got AIDS from their parents. But if there is any volunteer, I mean, male volunteers, I thought they should go, because Mr. Kesh has already given solution for AIDS in one of the teachings, so we can really try it. It's very easy.
I'm wondering if we can get the kids involved, get them to make the MagGrav units. They'd probably love it.
Yeah.
Some may not be able to, but some would probably. So you could select who does what jobs as far as that goes, and so on. It may be possible to do something like that at some places.
I can make the macro, so it's not a big issue. The thing is, it's going to take a little bit of time, but we can involve kids. You mean the boy kids that they are in the orphanage one, right?
Well, even the girls can do it. I mean, there's no reason why it has to be limited to the boys. The girls that I teach get it really fast, and they understand it. They just intuitively see how this thing works. And the kids love playing with this stuff, and that's one of the big things about it is you can't look at it as work. You need to view creating these devices as play, and the children will put such a wonderful energy into it. You'll probably wind up with really good devices.
Yes, John, I have my two boys, so they always ask me questions about this, but I don't ask them, I mean, I don't allow them to come near the GANs, but the coils, they actually play with it, but I haven't given them much.
Well, this is an interesting topic because, I mean, how do we engage kids into this plasma work? And part of it is training. How do you train and engage kids so they really enjoy learning about it and so on, which is easily done, obviously, but it has to get done in certain ways. So I think that as we go along, it'll become more and more important to find ways to engage the younger generations.
Yeah, they have good pure thoughts, nothing much complicated they have, so it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're becoming more and more sensitive, it seems, as well, to the fields around them and so on. So we need to take advantage of that, and maybe they can teach us a few things. We think that we need to teach the kids. Maybe it's the kids that'll be teaching us once that gets going.
Right, right.
With what I teach down in Peru and the work that's happening down there with the Quechuan people, I have to view these sort of projects as no limits. If you have a resource, bring it on. I mean, there's no reason why you can't make half of this materials out of indigenous product or indigenous materials. And Dave figured that out after I nattered at him for about 4 hours. That don't worry about going to find plexiglass for your stacker unit. Go out into the woods, find the local materials, and he did that, and he made an absolutely beautiful system. He was going to send me pictures that I could show off, but they
Mm-hmm.
never came. He's trying to get internet in the jungle, and it doesn't work very well.
Mm-hmm.
Local resources, local materials, that's the way to go. I've told so many people that you don't have to go buy copper. You don't have to go and get specific things. You can just scrounge around and find stuff laying around that works just fine.
Yep, good point, John. Absolutely. Don't forget the dollar store as a endless source of materials for these types of experiments.
Yeah, there's no reason why it has to cost anything. I think he's just about got his complete unit, and I think he's into it for $15 or $20.
Yep, that's right. You have to find innovative ways to obtain the materials and get them all used that way. Okay, what else do we have to show here? Anything new from you, Robert, that you might like to show, or?
No, nothing new to show. I'm just waiting for a good topic to start modeling something.
waiting in the background to pounce on a new topic. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Well, actually, I found something interesting. Maybe I can
Okay.
share that. Let me open up this browser page. Let's see where is share screen. I found this software, I guess, slash application for putting notes on videos. This one is called Video Notes. And the way it works is, let's say you have a video, you can put, let's say you can like upload a video and then start putting, start playing it and put, let's say, notes here, say the opening, and it indexes them, and with time, with like times of the location by that note. So let's say here color tests and stuff, right? So the good thing is you can go back and click on that note on time, and it'll jump back to that location. So I'm thinking we can use this for all the workshop videos, all the training videos, and have this the whole video indexed like this. So if you're looking for something in particular, you can just find that node, click on it, and you're right there.
Yeah, essentially that's what we need, but we need to transcribe all the videos to be able to get the actual words that are used in the video, so we can be able to click to those, search like a searchable database for words that could be clicked on and go automatically to those places. That would be great. Having a description's kind of nice, but time you do all that, you almost might as well do the transcribing as well. Then we can have the subscripts come up automatically in every language as we go along too. So that's kind of the ultimate goal. It's a big job taking on this, but I like the format. It's nice.
Yeah, I've been able to find only like 2 examples of implementations of this idea. This other one, Video Note, they have an example here. And same thing, you can click on the note and it will jump to that location. You can also have slides attached, comments, people can leave comments. But this one, I guess you have to subscribe to this one. I was wondering if we have programmers in the group or someone who can do things like this, they could.
Yeah, well, we do
design one.
We do have plans to work on a system like that, actually, for in-house and through the educational KFSSI, the education part, and so on. It's just we don't have enough time right now with getting all the other websites going on and that kind of thing. And then, of course, to have people propagate it is pretty big as well. I'd like to start pushing to have someone as a manager for all that business, to bring together all the transcriptions and translations and videos and all the material from all around, try to integrate it into one cohesive whole, let's say, with all the transcriptions attached to the videos. And then we'll have a completely searchable database. You'll be able to search through multiple videos to find the key phrases or keywords you're looking for, and find all the instances of that through all the videos, for example. And all that would be searchable with getting the transcriptions attached to the videos. So that's part of the work that needs to get done here for sure.
Yeah.
big job, really big job. It's a full-time job for someone for many months just to get caught up with a crew of people helping. So anybody wants to volunteer for that, just get a hold of me. I have been putting out for that.
About 1,500 hours of video to go through.
Pardon me? Is how
I said,
many?
yeah, about 1,500 hours of video to go through.
Probably something like that, and it takes 30 to 40 hours per video to transcribe, so it's in the tens of thousands, many tens of thousands of hours of transcriptions that need to be done.
Yeah, but with this option, I think it would be much quicker while we're doing the transcription. At least this way you can quickly find your place in the video where you have that topic being discussed. And I'm thinking that this can be done by a bunch of volunteers, people can.
Yeah. I want to get those volunteers to do transcribing. I don't want them to be off doing this because this is a whole separate thing. You'd have to add it to the video or use an additional program, and it's we need to get people working on the transcriptions to get the actual words there, because otherwise you're pointing towards someone else's interpretation is going to get used to move to those points. Like, for example, in YouTube, you just have to put the time of the time in the statement in the about this part of the in the description is what I'm trying to say. You can put in the times and just click on them in the description. You automatically go to that point in the video. That's not an issue as far as finding exact points from descriptions. That can all be put in every description of the YouTube video as is right now, and it's clickable without having any other program or any other thing. Some of the videos actually have that. There's a list of times and topics, and you can click on the time and go automatically in that video to the topic. So that can be done as added to the description of any of the videos in YouTube, and work just the way you were showing there in your diagram. The problem is that we still need to get the transcriptions done so that translations can be done. Otherwise, we'd have to translate all of those little descriptions and points of where to click to the video and so on in, at least a dozen languages, if not more, and then all of a sudden it gets really clunky. That should all be built right into the video, I think, and so you select whatever language you need, and that's what you get for your searching and for your clicking and to go automatically to different spots.
Is there software that would do that automatically, going from like the audio track to text?
Well, there is, but it's not very accurate generally. You can train it. There's like Dragon is one of them. I tried getting that, and it ends up, generally, if there's a few mistakes, then you end up spending much more time going back and trying to fix the mistakes than to just type it out originally with reasonable good quality. So you were going to say something about that, John? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say I've used Dragon on a number of occasions, and for the dictation, it has to be trained to that voice. If there's even the slightest change, it just messes right up.
Yeah, and they have voice general selections you can make of, I don't know, North American or English and several other accents, but they don't have Jewish Iranian accent, for example, like Mr. Keshe might be.
Or like someone could like watch the video and they just pause it, repeat what the speaker said, and they just train the software to their voice and just make it more clear to transcribe.
There's just too many variations in the audio track. It won't work. The audio's got to be almost perfect for Dragon or any of these dictation softwares to function properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be some real high-end one somewhere that's in use that might possibly work. I'm not clear on that. I know Google is working constantly to improve their products, and so are some others with Apple and so on, but we're just not quite there yet. It still requires a office stenographer, or what do you call it, like a courtroom stenographer type skills at many words per minute in order to keep up to do it manually, which is still an option. That's what should be done with each workshop. It makes it so, with each video, it would make it so much easier. But we'll keep pushing for it and hope that we can come through with something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to.
Thanks for the feedback, though. That was good to see. It's quite interesting, and as a standalone application, that would be, kind of a nice way to go. But if we get too many applications and too many groups, it's already so split up that we can't keep track of who's doing what transcriptions. That's the major problem. Not getting the actual work done, but just getting the people assigned the work. And nobody knows what's going on because it takes, like I say, a full-time job all day to herd the cats. It's a full-time cat herding job. And if you ever try to herd cats, you know how difficult that can be.
Yeah, it's kind of a labor intensive as far as you can only do it real time. You can't speed it up or anything. So if we could find a technology that would do that, that would be great.
Yep, I agree.
All right, I'll stop sharing
Okay, thank you.
screen.
And we know you're working diligently in the background, trying to model whatever we come up with, if we come up with something.
Just, yeah, start thinking of something, start brainstorming, I'll start building.
Well, I noticed Rennan's in tonight. Bunch of new faces out there that I haven't seen before. I'm wondering if there's anybody that has any questions that can get us pointed in the right direction tonight. Apparently not.
Guys,
Hi, Brandon.
hello, hi Rick. Thank God. I'm listening here as well as doing some work at the background. Yes,
Yeah.
we have full-time jobs here as well.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? You guys work very hard there in the Philippines. Yeah, so what do we have to discuss today? What would be interesting for people? What do people need to know? That's one question, if anything.
I think every opportunity we get, we should try to introduce people to the concept of plasma technology. For example, unexpectedly, we had one of my long lost cousins visit actually just now, and she brought her son. So I was talking to them about plasma technology and GANs and showed them nano coated wires and health pens, and they were pretty fascinated with that. And the son immediately piped up and said, "Oh, my brother is very into stuff like this. He's always living on the cutting edge. So I think I'm going to introduce these concepts to him." So I gave him the Keshe Foundation website, which he straight away sent to his brother. And then I gave him a piece of nano coated wire in a Ziploc bag. I said, "Okay, take it back to Australia." And then I said, also look on Facebook and look for Australian Keshe Foundation groups in your area that might be active in this. So they were pretty fascinated by what's going on. And even though we may not be able to touch the people that we are speaking to directly, they may know someone who's interested in these kind of things. So every opportunity we get, we should just try to let people know that this is a thing, this is going on, and let the word spread from there. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, that's a
It
really,
was
really good point. I think that once you start doing that, you'll find that it's exactly like that. People say, "Oh, I know somebody that mentioned the word plasma the other day, and they'll really be interested in this, I'm sure," and so on. And it does catch on like wildfire. Kids do love to play with both the real, nanomaterial aspect and making things, and also playing with the concepts and ideas, because they can be quite invigorating to people. And I went to a couple's place the other day and started talking about some of the things that are going on in these new nanomaterials and this and that, and pretty soon they were getting all excited about it, and they were happy for me that I was, happy doing this stuff, and also happy to know that there was something coming down the pike, down the tube as such, that was different and was had a lot of hope and possibility to it, because most of the things that we've been used to in the last decade or two is just more things, more fancier CD player, a better TV, and so on and so forth. There hasn't been that much that's really different, from a whole different sector. And this is a different sector. It's a whole different ball game, you might say, that the plasma technology compared to normal devices that plug in and have been developed over the years.
exactly, and even with the the basic principles of plasma technology, because it all comes down to unifying principle. So it's no longer differentiated, and when we start to impress upon the people that with this one unifying principle you can do so many things: health, energy, feeding people. You basically bring solutions wholesale to the problems that are plaguing this planet in one fell swoop, and that's where they get really excited.
Well, that's right. Yeah, yeah. It's actual solutions, not just talking to your head, or concepts, or you know, there's people who are actually getting real world results, and lots of them, and many happy people, and many actually revolutionary, stunning type results, not just small things, but the the different testimonials from people about the pain pens and the pain patches and the pain pads, and some of the other testimonials about the plasma power devices and maggrav units and so on. People building these things all over the world. Everyone from kids to grandmothers are busy winding coils and making all these. It puts me to shame in many ways, because I haven't started my own coil setup, and I'm feeling kind of ashamed that kids and grandmothers are running right by me here on this in this endeavor, and but I think that's great. That's actually the way it should be. It should be so so grassroots, rather, that ground floor grassroots, however you like to call it, that almost anyone can pass one of the best. You could be the best scientist in the world, and you could get still passed by some grandmother with a couple of grandkids that are putting together these systems, and all of a sudden they have a little better way of doing it, or some other insight, or they just happen to be really sensitive and feeling and so on, and they're busy feeling all these wonderful effects from their systems, when somebody else that might be a little brainier, a little more sciencey, might not be capable of feeling the effects, because they're so used to taking measurements. They're so used to having some instrument show the effect for them, and we may not have the proper instruments even developed yet for some of these fields. So that's where some of the kids and grandmas are able to exceed what science is able to investigate in a way.
I'm having so much fun in this sleepy little town that I moved to.
Yeah.
It's there's 7,000 people. It's a heavy industry town. There's one big plant that it's a lead and zinc smelter. It makes the whole town stink, which is not fun, but it's okay. But I'm wandering around town looking for very specific things. I'm looking for copper scrubbies. I'm looking for certain size of metal doweling, and constant, whenever I'm talking to people, I go, well, what do you do and what do you need this for? And I get this little shiver in my spine, and I said, well, I'm teaching people to build spaceships. I work for the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, and every single one of them so far has lit right up. I haven't had one person look at me like I had 3 heads yet. It's going to be so much fun when this it's getting around.
Good one. I can just imagine the scenarios that come up there. And yeah, it gets people excited. They like to see something really different. And you talk about building a spaceship, that people are not so cynical as they used to be, and it's almost like, oh, okay, what kind of principles is your spaceship based on? So,
well, I just went to the printers today to get a window decal made up for my front window, and the lady's asked, the girl who was doing the computer work, she just kind of, okay, well, this is all fine and good. I can make a sign, no problem. And I guess her mother or a good friend of hers was standing there, and she's like, well, what's this all about? I says, well, I'm trying to get people interested in maggrav technology and building spaceships. And she was speechless. She just like, that's real? Yeah, it's totally real. And I'm going to be trying really hard to get a bunch of people together and set something up in the town. And don't be surprised if there's a big blue glow over the east side of town in 6 months.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, you joke around a little bit, but at the same time, there is a real edge to it as well, that it could very well be that sort of scenario. And so in this way, and especially with joking with people and just sort of introducing in this gradual basis, we sort of get the population prepared. They talk to their friends and the kids, and everybody's sort of whispering around, what is going on here anyways, and are we really building spaceships now? I didn't know that we were able to build spaceships. This is great, And so even if nothing's going on, the people are still being prepared for when the real stuff is really going on, and they wouldn't be able to take it as a big shock. They would have already needed to be introduced to these ideas. So that's a nice segue, a nice transition into a new world of technology, rather than a brutal shock that's imposed from outside. It's more their natural curiosity is bringing it out from us in a way. So
yeah, it's going to be very interesting, because the biggest thing that hit this town was cell phones.
They didn't have to use blankets and smoke signals to communicate after that.
Well, after looking at some of the houses around here, this town's been here for 100 years, and it really hasn't changed. I mean, there's no Starbucks. Walmart is like 2 miles down the highway. There's no Walmart in town. I got 2 grocery stores. There's nothing like you'd see in typical small town America. This is I would call this definitely backwoods town, and I love it. I love small towns. I love the energy of them. I've been smiled at more in the last week than I have in 2 years.
Yeah, right on. And you have a big advantage there in a way, and maybe you didn't notice, but the very first line that you said about where you were, you said that it didn't smell very good because of the heavy metals and stuff coming from the smelter, I think it was. Is that what you were saying?
Yep. And it's when the wind comes from the north, it smells horrible outside.
Right. Well, instead of looking at it as a lemon, look at it as lemonade, because that might be a source of some interesting work for you. For example, what if you could find a way to eliminate the horrible smells from the environment using nanomaterials and GANs or nanotechnology in some way, or reactors or whatever?
That is
And
that has
what
certainly
if
crossed my mind. I
what
mean,
if you could sell that technology to your local factory? And what if it turned out to be the best solution? And what if that became the classic way to do this through the whole world after that? It kind of like, this is what I would like to see, actually, is Canada become a leader in this type of technology for removing pollution from the world, for creating certain devices like that are able to create heat for people in cold areas, and so on and so forth. There's a long list of ways that we could work with this technology and produce useful things for folks in the environment. I mean, if you go to a place like that and that's what you see, like literally that's what's in front of your face, like that smell is there, bingo. It's like there's a perfect problem and we have a perfect solution. Why not put the two together? Whether it's a mask, maybe it's a nano-coated copper wire mesh mask that you put on, and when you breathe through it, you don't have to suffer any smells, and it takes out all the heavy metals or something like that. Or maybe it could be a filter for the actual factory that goes back to the root source of the problem and eliminates the smells from that end of things. But either way, I could almost see sticking in a research laboratory, hiring half a dozen people, let them go at it in your town there, just to as a science experiment. It'd be great to be able to do that.
And interestingly enough, John and I were actually talking about something along those lines earlier on.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, well, that concept definitely crossed my mind, because the synchronicities that dropped into my lap to cause me to be here are beyond anything that you could just slough off. It was so blatant. You got to move. Where am I going to move? This is the perfect place. Okay, I'll talk to this guy. Yeah, everything just fell into place absolutely perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm here. There's a reason why I'm here, and that may be very, very much a big part of it. I have a feeling, though, that I'm going to be teaching somebody else this technology, and they're going to run with it.
Yes, absolutely. That's probably the way that it would occur, but you never know, because you could just, get emotionally attached, like, geez, I really want to do this. This is my calling to clean up the world's air, whatever sort of concept that comes in there. And you never know when that lightning could hit and all of a sudden you're right in the middle involved in a project like that. But I could definitely see that you could turn somebody else onto it and they could run with it. It could be some young kid in the university or something doing a big study on it, and all kinds of things could offshoot from that. It's entirely possible. To me, this is one of the biggest issues in the world, actually, this idea of bad air. And that's what originally kind of got me started on the Keshe Foundation, is the concept that Mr. Keshe said, it's time for mankind to stop the burning, he said. I thought, wow, what a concept. That's really radical. No one's ever told me that before. I've been highly allergic to diesel and exhaust fumes and so on for years at that point. And here's this person saying, it's time for mankind to stop the burning. And that really got my attention, and still does. And I look at it as, from the point of view of, if we are all essential beings, then there's a saying that essence is breath. And if that's true, then our breath is directly tied to our essence, to our soul. And I think most people would probably agree, at least that is a concept. And then if you look at that as in terms of putting it into reality, well, the air on this planet has been contaminated virtually in every place that you can take a breath. There is no completely pure air left on the planet. Essentially, you can measure nanomaterials that come from car exhaust in every single cubic foot of air, so or cubic meter, whatever cubes you want to be measuring. It's a matter of the quantity and quality of those particles. And since they've just recently tied in carbon nanotubes with causing asthma, or one of the causes of asthma, and now they can tie in those carbon nanotubes directly to a particular exhaust. They can do tests to tell what exhaust pipe certain nanomaterials that cause asthma in kids come from. So this is a really big deal, and it's going to change laws and make it so that we're probably not going to be allowed to kill and maim kids that way anymore. And that's the way that should be. But to me, that's the greatest travesty of mankind against mankind, is this idea of taking the breath away, the essence breath away from all of the humans on this planet. That is not okay. So Essence is not impressed, and Essence is coming back with a vengeance with the Davy and Goliath philosophy, and the slingshots are flying left, right, and center, and we're going to poke the eye out of Goliath if he doesn't come around and stop polluting the planet with all this crap. So that's kind of the way I look at it, and sure enough, it's coming about now. It's one of my greatest joys was to see the Volkswagen corporation get nabbed for cheating in their emissions, because this is the crack that's going to blow open the entire automotive field, the automotive and other industries who have all been cheating on their emission tests, especially the trucking industry. And now they'll get nailed at it. They'll be responsible for those health effects, and multi-trillions of dollars will be traced back to these companies, that they are responsible for the 20 to 40% of the health problems of the people on this planet, which runs in the many quadrillions of dollars worth, much more than trillions of dollars worth of health problems. So essentially that would bankrupt every corporation on Earth if they were to take on that responsibility for what they're responsible for the last 100 years of pollution, say. So it's a big mess right now, and it's good to see, because it means we have to push forward into new technologies, and that's where the Keshe Foundation and others will be coming forward to show what we got and make a difference, where we have the open ears of those who are now forced to make big decisions, big changes to what's happening out there. It's kind of the way I see it anyway, in a nutshell.
It's a good time.
It's definitely
a good time.
So, any other comments or suggestions or ideas about that?
I would expand on your on what you said about breath being the I guess the key element that makes us in a way alive. We can live without food for days, weeks, without water, maybe a few days, but without breathing, we can't live very long. A few minutes maybe.
You're right. I'm very, very addicted to oxygen, and I find I must have it quite often in order to continue for some reason. I'm an admitted oxygen addict.
Well, I've for the last maybe couple of years, I've been doing some research and training in breathing techniques, and I found this one guy that has done a lot of research, and he has studied another doctor in Russia, like back in from I think 30s to 50s, something like that. And what he was saying is the reason we are sick with a lot of chronic illnesses and stuff is because we breathe too much. And the studies that they've done in Russia and also around the world, and it's medically sort of proven that for normal health, a healthy person sort of breathes so many liters of air per minute. So it's like 4 liters per minute, and they have found that if you breathe more than that, you have some sort of an illness. And most of the people these days, they are breathing in the maybe like 6, 8, some people 10, 12 liters per minute, and technically that's sort of hyperventilating. And when you're hyperventilating, you become dizzy, you have headaches, or you can even become unconscious if you hyperventilate too much. That's why you breathe through a bag to reduce your oxygen intake. And I found that there's a lot of counterintuitive things that go on in our body regarding the breathing. You would think that the deeper you breathe, you are getting more oxygen in your system, but it turns out that it's really counterintuitive. It's the opposite. The more you breathe, the less exchange takes place between your blood oxygen carriers and your cells. And so this research and this doctor that did this whole thing, he came up with a breathing technique that reduced your breathing volumes, and which increased your oxygenation level of your brain and your body. And a lot of the people who had these chronic illnesses where they recovered. And I'm thinking of doing a teaching maybe one day regarding this breathing technique and the whole breathing um, process. And actually, through breathing, you can change your body pH. You can go from acidic to alkaline just by changing your breathing style.
That would be interesting to hear some data about that and some techniques.
Yeah, and since a lot of illnesses are tied to the body pH being acidic, I think you can take care of a lot of problems by just changing your breathing, and you don't need to buy anything. You don't need to build anything, just practice the correct breathing for your body.
Can I add something here?
Sure.
Libby, what's really important to add to the breathing is the thoughts. Remember, our thoughts really affect us. So you can be taking long, deep, well, you probably wouldn't be doing that, but if you do take long, deep breaths, which I do highly encourage, but from the bottom of your diaphragm, not from the top of your lungs, but from the bottom. I've been teaching breathing techniques for a long, long time because I used to be a yoga teacher, and it's true that most people do breathe too much, but it's because they're breathing with very constricted bellies. Men have been taught to wear belts very tight, tighten your belt when times get tough. And it's really about having a loose, very relaxed belly, like a kid, or if you see a horse running, or come back to a kid, or look at Buddha with a nice round belly. We've really been trained women have been trained to wear controlled panty top, pantyhose and tight clothing, and you can't breathe correctly. And breath does come from the word spirare, which means spirit. So it's absolutely essential. Actually, in yesterday's workshop, when Mr. Keshe was talking about and drawing the shape of what we are, the spirit, the emotions so affect your spirit. They really, really do. And it's up to us to learn to control. Control isn't even the right word. Be vigilant with where your thoughts are at all times. Because you can be breathing but lost in fantasy and not see where you're allowing yourself to go. Um, or you can learn to control yourself. Control, again, it's not really, it's playful. It's like our systems. I do have a little thing I was making, but it's not relative to the breath. But the CO2, because that's really what I have the most of, is a teacher. It's a guide to remind us it's all inside of us. And I would really invite anybody who's playing with CO2 to start interacting with it as if it is an entity, because it is. And it's all around us. It's just that we've thought of entities as big, large things, but it's just a little ball of energy that's wanting to communicate with us. And so in that breath, we're breathing it in as we work around it. We talked earlier about teaching kids. I don't really think CO2 guns can harm a child. Yeah, if it's eating it, but having it around it is a really pleasing experience for children. It calms them. It makes them just happier. And
Well, because CO2 is a vasodilator. It dilates your vessels, your blood vessels, and your lungs, and your brain. The vessels in your brain and your sinuses. So when all those are dilated, the blood flows easier. Your blood pressure drops. You calm down. You relax. So it's just all because of the action of carbon dioxide, which we tend to blame for all the problems.
well, that's where I wanted to come back, is that we've all been fed a lot of propaganda about how terrible the state of the world is, which it is. I certainly look around and I see that. But if we look at those thought forms as if the biggest part of pollution, like, it's so important for us to remember it's not just what's out there. Matter-wise, our thoughts are much more powerful than matter, and we've been fed a lot of BS about matter. And if we can jump through our breath in the sense of understanding we are so powerful because of our breath, and yes, potentially that's why there's been so much pollution put on us. But the thought pollution about the pollution that's been put about on us is far worse. So we need to keep looking at that. It's how I am able to keep going when, my thoughts could drive me nuts about my state. But I do understand, hey, you know what? Okay, you have not very much, but you're alive. It's up to you to make yourself eager and able to get up at 2 a.m. to watch this.
That's right.
And just really flow with each moment instead of thinking about tomorrow. Be here right now and imagine our own spaceship around us and connect to the eye of all eyes And while this workshop started, I thought, oh, this is how you could bring it back to yoga. Because yoga became like this thing that everybody was wearing their really nice clothes and had the perfect yoga mat, and they were really holding the poses for a long time, but they were not in their own spirit. They were in these thoughts about how beautiful they were or not, or were they doing it right, instead of just being the yoga, which is really union of mind, body, and spirit. And I think that's how I'm going to be going forward teaching the Keshe knowledge, is taking that spiritual aspect, turning to the devices I've made. And I wish I had enough money to really make a power unit, but I don't. So I just deal with what I have and say, okay, teach me, because everything is part of us. I know I'm ranting here. It's 2 a.m.
No, thank you very much. I was wondering if you had, do you have anything to show that
Yeah,
of your
I'll show
thing?
this thing.
Okay,
It's
great.
too bad to me, but okay, I'll share my video. Let's see. Okay, this is yeah. Now, why I made this is I wanted to stick my finger in here, but I made it too tight for my finger, and used a geranium leaf to see if I could power that. I'm really into using nature and what's around us because of my limited uh, funds. But do you see what that is? They can also come down, but it's almost as if this outer one creates the plasma field for the inner one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So it's just one of the things. I've got stuff outside being nano-coated by nature, snow, very cold temperatures, rain, But anyway, um, and I've got lots of stuff, but not able to go show it to you guys because I do rant, and I don't want to take too much time. I just, when the breath came up, I had to talk about spirit because spirari is the derivative of breath comes from. Such an important aspect, and I'll get rid of my old face here. um, so back to everybody else who wants to talk about spirit and breath.
Hi, Libby.
Hi,
This is Denny.
hi, Denny.
I'm from Idaho.
Hi.
So, if you can find an old extension cord, or even go down and buy a simple extension cord that's even 5 or 6 feet long,
Yeah.
you will find that it'll be stranded. And you don't have to buy a 14 gauge or a 12 gauge, or you can buy a 20 gauge, 22 gauge. It doesn't matter, but you'll see that it's stranded. And
Okay.
then it'll take you some time to take the strands apart. But then you'll notice once you have a strand that you can turn it into a one stacker or a three stacker, and you'll find it'll be very petite, but it'll be very efficient, and so it won't cost you very much at all.
Oh, good. I'm going to go downstairs and look for more extension cords that I don't use. I'm just always scared to use something that I might need, but I'm going to get over that and just start tearing stuff apart. So
Well, here's another thing. You may go outside. I don't know what your
I'm
outside.
way out in the country, no public transportation and no
That
car.
that is great. You'll go outside and you'll start looking around, and you'll poke around, and you might see a an old extension cord laying on the ground, or you might see something that has that wire, for stranded wire, and it's there. It'll already be given to you. It'll be a gift to you. You just have to start looking for it.
Yeah, we
Uh,
got to keep in mind that the 14 gauge wire that was recommended was for the power systems. When you're dealing with plasma, the size doesn't matter. You can use a very, very fine wire for that.
yes, I'm discovering that. I am, like I said, I'm using whatever I can find, but then I'm also discovering that what's been called copper wire is not. When you burn it, you go, oh, that's not even copper.
And here's another thing: you
Yeah.
may go out and find some baling wire. It's iron,
Yeah.
but you can nanocoat it. You can utilize it. You may find, I don't know, in the country, a lot of times people have have left wire just laying around. They may have put together an electric fence, you know, and it'll be laying out there, and you can use that. It's it doesn't always have to be copper.
Oh,
Well,
good. Okay. Yay. Yay.
or
I have.
possibly an old motor laying around, maybe an old washing machine or something could be there, and maybe the motor could be dismantled and take the copper wires out of it and that kind of thing as well.
Excellent.
There are always hidden treasures all around us, it seems.
And you know,
Yeah,
from your spiritual side, it'll direct you to it. And
yeah,
so,
never discount a junkyard. There's gold in a junkyard.
I wish I had a junkyard near me. I don't.
no,
But
but
actually, I got my own junkyard. I got a shed. So thank you. I'll go into the shed.
There
so
you go.
the very thing that you're wanting or seeking, it'll be seeking you, and it'll talk to you just like the GANS does. It'll talk to you, and it'll direct you to it.
You're right. That's what the geranium leaf did. I was wondering where the heck am I going to find a mango leaf or any kind of leaf? And then I have these beautiful geraniums, and it just said, "Come, look at me." And and then I looked up geranium, and that's a very powerful plant. I thought, okay, cool. I really do want to learn how to. I'm not happy about nanocoating. I don't like the burn, and I don't like caustic at all. And nature is slow. But if did I get this right? There's someone showed, I don't know who it was, them using a kind of like a power unit. What do we call that? The double coil with in the 90-degree turn. And he just stuck it, and it wasn't nano coated. And he wrapped a mango leaf around his finger and said that that acted like nano coating. Is that correct? Did I understand that right? Or
That
I
did
might have been
think I
Moses,
think that was Modrus, yes.
but I don't know. He just hadn't got to the point where he was going to nanocoat it yet. He just got to the idea that this could be done, and hadn't got to the point of nanocoating, because I don't think Modrus is is worried about nanocoating.
okay. Well, that's something I obviously have to get over, but I cannot even think about using caustic. It just
Well,
is
here's another substitute for you. Well, you
okay.
don't like burning, but uh, maybe there's ashes somewhere laying on your property.
Yeah, I've got a rocket stove that I had to use this summer when my power got cut off. So,
There's some
so
great ashes there.
yeah.
You can look on the internet and you can figure out how to, well, maybe, yeah, you can figure out how to mix it with water and utilize it. But you can also just figure out how much water, use your emotional sensing, and figure out just how you're going to mix those ashes with a water, and use that to nanocoat as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That I learned that a long time ago, and it seemed to not be talked about. And so I let it go. I said, "Oh, maybe that didn't work." But thank you, because I can definitely find ash and make ash.
Well,
That's
don't
the way they used to make soap, right? You make lye from ashes, certain kinds of ashes. Like it depends whether it's hardwood or softwood, and certain kinds of wood are better than others, apparently, and so on.
And I
And
have been collecting all my geranium leaves that do fall off. So could I make it from geranium ash?
you can add it
I
to,
don't see why
yeah,
not.
you could.
Right? Oh
This
goodness! Yay!
what
Thank
what you
you.
might want to do with that ash is you put your water in it, you boil it,
Okay.
and then you kind of decant it and distill it and let it dry. And with that, you will have again another powdery substance, and you can use that powdery substance now that the ash is more or less concentrated. You can use that powdery substance as a substitute for the sodium hydroxide.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But
Yay!
And
it will be as potent as sodium hydroxide too, in terms of you would still want to use gloves with it and goggles and that kind of thing. You have to
Well,
treat it
therein
with a
lies the
lot of
problem.
respect.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, see, I don't
it's
have gloves. I've got kitchen gloves. Woohoo!
well,
And
that kind of
Well,
thing.
Kitchen
Libby,
gloves
here's
will work.
another thought that you might like. Mr. Kesh mentioned several times, and a number of people have tried making reactors out of coconuts, making reactors out of fruit. He mentioned that we can make our coils out of tree roots.
yeah.
They're already nanomaterials.
Oh, good. And somebody just wrote, yeah, blueprint for a natural magma with a piece of timber. Okay, yeah, I just had a tree come down too. Okay, good. Oh, I'm
No
so glad I
Yeah.
limit,
got out of the way.
no limits.
Yeah.
Hi guys, this is Renan.
Hi, Raymond.
Hello.
Do you
Hi,
have
Raymond.
some practical examples for us too, Renan?
Yeah, just talking with. I just finished talking with my father's who does a personal home visit massage. So I thought I teach him how to use the hands instead of pens to remove pain. So because he is always doing massage to different people, so he just reported to me that in all his doing massage, he added his services using only his fingers pointing to the pain, and pain disappeared. So he was so happy that he has additional services for his customers.
Oh, that's
from,
beautiful.
from a massage. He has already pain relieving, and also so he reported that there was a person that cannot walk anymore because of the excruciating pain of his knees and back. So he just followed the pain, he pointed out, and after that, after his full massage, he pointed his fingers on the different areas. Then what happened was pain disappeared, and the person was able to walk again. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's just amazing right now that being really natural, using your hands, using your fingers, using everything with what you have, it's working. I think the vibrations already, or the frequencies of all human beings have been raised, that we can really access that level of energy, that we
Yeah.
can transfer. I just tested a while ago, experiencing wonderful things while sitting down. That you can see really plasma fields surrounding us, and the shadings in my when I twist my eyes everywhere. Just even with light, I can see blurry yellow and uh, purple. So it's like a frequency. So it's somewhat passes in my face, in front of me, a yellow, then another purple shade. So it's just like a foggy thing that just encircles me. So right now, these things are just getting normal, in very sense that we can really access this technology, or we can access this magra fields as a human being, or as a person with access to the higher dimensions, and it's very wonderful to experience it in some way. So I think the uh, going organic in the same way is one thing that we can also be connected to the soul of the earth in some way. So we can have as people, we can connect also to the living earth, and we can connect also to the creator in all aspects. So that is our goal with the foundation, to have one race, one planet, one nation, and it includes the earth. He becomes part of us, and he is already part of us, and we are part of the earth in a sense. Then it's already connecting, and I later, maybe a few months from now or before April, maybe we can already travel everywhere we want soon, just doing these things, because getting common in our place here with the group. It's getting very common for us. Everywhere we go, things just happening, uh, easily manifesting, the especially in health. Then we're always joking here that okay, let's practice. We transfer from one seat to another seat in the same room. So it's just a we're quite having, so you won't go lost to other dimensions. Let's just try to transfer from one chair to the other chair. So it's just like how to test it in some way or another. So
You mean like musical chairs in your mind? Is that what you're playing there?
yeah,
That
it's
game?
just you need to picture out which chair you want to appear.
Uh-huh. No.
Where, what's the magrav of that chair? So you need to have a balance your body with the magrav of that certain portion of the earth. So how to transfer? So it's just our we keep on when we're working. We just do some jokes and everything like that. So maybe soon we'll do that. But we're coming to it. In health, it's already normal with us to do these things. So next is when we travel everywhere, it's gonna be normal eventually for people to do that. Even the water, yeah, it's gonna be normal. So this will be the new, they call it the new heaven or the new earth era, where we have been elevated to a certain level of as light beings that we can really access such energy, higher energy form. Just want to share that.
And
Excellent,
that's
Renan.
actually
Thank you.
that's very interesting, actually, Renan. What you mentioned also, because through the devices that we are building, we are also learning that it is ourselves that is the health pen, that is ourselves that is the MacRev unit. And when sharing this with other people, that is the thing that actually holds the most fascination for them, because a lot of people are very feeling people. You see, they would like to feel effects. They would like to be able to feel the results of the work that they do. So when we tell them that your finger becomes the health pen, that holds a very big fascination for them, and it intrigues them enough to want to go and find out more about how to do it. So that's really, really fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, we're moving into a whole new world for sure. Okay, who else would like to share something or have a question, comment?
I just want to say I am so happy to hear this. Oh, knowing we are remembering, knowing that it is coming back to us, and so grateful that CO2 Keshe, the whole knowledge seekers have come together. Um, so thank you, everybody.
I think that is the key word to the key mood that makes it all work is that mood of gratitude, that feeling of giving back and being thankful for all of the gifts that seems to come to one when one opens up to these energies, to the plasma. Essentially, we're opening our plasmas to the plasma, and that's enough to cause changes to others and to the world. It seems.
Hey, Rick. I would like to ask Robert Avertesian maybe to how I could get a link of his for human star formation.
Ah,
Which
That's with the
with
forehead.
the foreheads,
foreheads?
the four-headed human.
Oh, okay. What do you need?
I liked your CAD drawing of those foreheads, and I was wondering how I could get a link to those that star formation of four people.
A picture of it, a image of it.
Yes.
Probably would it be best if it was in a 3D type format so you could twist
Yeah.
it around and
Yeah.
play with it?
Maybe I can send you a 3D PDF file, which that way you can rotate it and print whatever view you want out of it. Maybe.
Sure. What do? I go to do the private chat and send you my email? Is that what I do?
Yeah, yeah, I think that would work.
There's no link we could put in the chat right now. I guess we'd have to put it up at on a site on one of our server sites or whatever, on a drive or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, if you can send me your email privately, that would work. I'll send it to you right now.
Okay, I'll see if I got it right there. Yeah, no mistakes. I'm sending it.
Okay, I see it. Okay, you'll have it in less than 5 minutes.
I decided to kind of let that incubate. So I don't push it so much, but it would be nice to have 3D rendering of it just for my own meditation.
Inspiration.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Somebody else may want it too. I don't know.
Yeah, we'd have to maybe post it in one of the usual locations, I guess, in order for that to have access.
Yeah, I've been meaning to upload a lot of the images over the last few weeks to my Facebook account. Haven't had time, but hopefully soon.
Robert, how is the emblem is coming out?
The one planet, one nation, one race.
Correct.
I have something I wanna show it to Mr. Cash and kind of see if he likes the direction I'm going with it. I'm gonna send him a email requesting a meeting for that, maybe tomorrow. But it's gonna be very interesting. I mean, just for that reason, I've been, like I said last time to Rick, I've been looking at different software to be able to do what I want to do. And I think I found it, Rick. It's a really good software. And I can maybe show it to you guys if you don't have anything else to
Sure,
discuss.
go ahead. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what we want.
I got this software. It's the SolidWorks Visualize
No, we
Professional.
want to see the emblem, what you done.
Oh, you wanna? I don't know if I wanna show it yet. I wanna show it, Mr. Cash, first.
Okay, we just our opinion.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
Yeah, with this software, I'll be able to do photorealistic images with all the light characteristics and stuff. I can change colors on the fly.
What is that software name?
This is SolidWorks makes this one. It's called Visualize. They just came out with this, like, I think end of last year, this year. And the emblem, the logo, I'm assembling in here because I wasn't able to bring the human figures from the another software into SolidWorks. that I can bring it in here and assemble everything together and then render it or make animations. Yeah, I really like this software.
I really love the car.
Looks like a 69 Z28 to me.
Yes, I'm getting very
so
excited
Awesome
here.
car.
That's it I wanted to show you guys at the moment. Maybe after I talk to Mr. Keshe next week, if he says it's okay, I can share the logo.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, what else have people got to show there? Gonna have to wrap things up fairly soon here to take a break before the online teaching.
Sure. Is it okay if I ask a question?
Sure. And who are you?
And this is Alper from California.
Okay.
Well, actually, I just would like to quickly go back to breathing. I'm a tennis instructor, and I've been teaching for a very, very long time since my early ages, and even when I wasn't like very spiritual like today, I have noticed breathing simply enhances emotionally and physically in a daily routine. It's just without going into sort of depth. It simply it does it every day, and just little bit focusing on it, it gives you in terms of every power. That's just what I have been thinking over all your conversations, that I thought maybe that is just a key to sort of controlling every aspect of our life. Perhaps what we've been trying to, I mean, not me, but like trying to create the spacecraft. That's just the breathing is the key, perhaps. That was the point that I'd like to say. And the other thing, I've been sort of playing with the guns in terms of around my instruments here. Like I had this effect unit, and I think there have been like drops and like guns inside at the moment. I know it. I saw it. I didn't clean, and I know some went inside as well. Have you ever noticed that the electronic equipment is sort of malfunctioning in a in a funky way? That is, would that be possible? I am experiencing with a particular machine that it does it. And yeah, that was the question. Thank you.
What kind of machine and what would be the...
This is simply is an effect processor where it processes the sound through it, and it has presets. And this is sort of my surface where I work. It's a comfortable area where other instruments is located, and which I have sort of scraped metals to get the dry gans on it, and just like powdery and everywhere. And particularly this machine, it's like the volume, sort of a fixed volume, it increases. Would there be a chance that would be possible even?
Well, I think if you infuse plasma into any device, it's going to augment the operation of that device, whether it's a car or a hand blender.
Sure, that makes sense. I can see that.
So while you were talking, the one thing that came to my mind that I'm going to try tomorrow, before the workshop, is infusing a little bit of CO2 cans into my acoustic guitar.
Into the
It's
strings, or where would you put it?
I just inside the sound hole. I want to get a little bit of CO2 cans on my finger, wearing gloves, obviously, and just smear it around the inside of the sound hole where the primary vibration of the guitar is, and see if that makes a significant difference in the sound quality of the guitar.
Sure, I would love to try that too. Thank you for that. Yes, it's
What about nano-coated guitar strings?
well.
What are they made out of? Nickel wire? Is that some of them?
That's right,
Yeah,
sir.
well, the strings that I use, they're a nickel, they're a coated nickel because I have very acidic skin and I eat up guitar strings in a week. So I use the coated style, so that wouldn't really work very well.
Would there be a chance where I've been playing guitar for a very long time, um, and your hands gets really salty and sweaty, and the friction, that heat that creates um, that blackness on the guitar strings, and where we need to change, it comes to a point where you really need to change, because what it does, it doesn't hold the tune, or it really does hold the tune, but it looks really terrible.
Yeah,
So
that's why I went to the coated strings. Martin and I can't remember, I can't pronounce the name. They both make a coated string and they last really, really well. They're
oh,
really nice
wonderful.
strings.
Yes. Oh, sure. I didn't know that, even though I claimed that I played for a very long time. But yes, sure. I'm gonna look into that. It's amazing. I have done something really silly using guitar strings. I made coils. Um, it's really tiny. I can't. And my device is broken, so I can't really show you. But you can undo the windings, and by stretching the string, and you can just sort of really do it. I mean, I haven't connected. I have both magnetical and gravitational parts, and all the cables are there, and it's just I have inspired by what was going on was in the health side, that the amputated fingers needed a smaller coils, where where I saw it and it was so inspiring, and then I tried it. It's quite possible, where I heard it from the teachings, that we could even use chicken wires, and so maybe that may be inspiring to other people. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. You can use that small size wire for devices as well. I wouldn't connect them to electrical vibration state.
Oh, I
I
see.
would use a plasma battery and keep them all in the plasma state.
Oh, I see. Well, actually, I have this little synth, analog synth, where it's like as big as a palm. I was thinking of connecting to it, and see what happens. I mean, it's totally unrelated, I know, towards everything, but it's just it gives me inspiration to do. I'm particularly doing the health applications. I'm into that, but I realize that we have to do some fun things. Really, I mean, it's just like, even if it sounds ridiculous, it's inspirational towards yourself, in terms of really charging you, and then you move on.
Are you thinking of infusing the coils with solfeggio frequencies?
Oh, yes.
Ah,
Uh,
that
well,
nice.
actually, I have quite a bit of a range there. I can even go different ranges in terms of, and effect an effect on it, in terms of multiply the sound in with a pulse. And I haven't seen really a sort of seeable effect. It's all intuition. I mean, all the experience that I have, I can't name it, but they enhance, even without knowing anything. it sort of adds something, I believe. Thank you.
I'd be very interested to be around a plasma field that's vibrating at 528 hertz.
Can I come in here with something? I'm a guitar player too, by the way.
Yes, sir. Please.
You know, last week I was trying to explain something and I didn't do it very well. And I want to just give a brief thing about something that I learned, and it kind of fits in with what's happening now too. So the flower of life I was showing you last time, what I discovered about that is it's a way to draw out a spherical grid. And you use the musical tones as coordinate systems. And for example, if you overlaid the solar system onto the grid, you can mark all the planets as pitches, particular notes. And what I did was I used the flower of life to show me how to to design a reactor that I can play the chord. And I can play any chord that I can plot on the graph. Same thing with the table of elements. If you put the table of elements onto the grid, and I know what note it is, I can play it with the reactor.
That is very good. It's applicable to almost every aspect of life. This plasma, that's just what I realized. I mean,
if I can plot hydrogen, if I can find out what frequency hydrogen is, I can create a reactor to play hydrogen.
I just go on YouTube. You can find it. There are all sorts of frequency ranges that has been presented by really good people that I have really contact with some of them to ask them.
Yes, but it's a plasma frequency. It's totally different than the regular frequencies we're used to. Talking about plotting the plasma. The flower of life is as old as humans. So is the relationships of the tones. But we're not talking about frequencies of sound. We're talking about the field strengths of the plasma. That's what the flower of life shows you. It's not going to show me the pitch of the earth as a frequency. It's going to show me the pitch of the earth's plasma field. So from the other side of the universe, I can plot the plasma field of the earth, go home. You know what I mean?
Nice. It makes sense. That is possible. I see
it. The musical tones equate in octaves, but the frequencies, it's not frequencies of sound. We're talking about the field tones.
Absolutely. So yes, you're right.
Okay, I just thought
I've realized. I think anything is possible with the sound, and even to be able to create some kind of a field, same frequency as the plasma field. But would that be the plasma field? I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Well, only if you plot it on the flower of life. You have to plot it on the flower of life. If you're putting it there, that's a plasma measuring device. When you put the solar system onto the flower of life, you're going to know where the magnetic and gravitational fields are because of the interval relationships. It's metaphorically, it's actually the same thing as sound, but it's plasmas. That's, I'm sure, I'm 100% sure in my mind that this is the tool that everybody in the universe uses to navigate. That's how you navigate. You use the flower of life. And it's like Gantz, a couple pieces of metal, some fire, and a bucket of salt water. You don't need the CERN super collider. You can get Gantz. Same thing with this. With a compass and some basic rules of thumb about harmony, you can plot anything in the universe that you can put on the grid. I think it's a super advanced tool that I think humans are going to have to learn to use. If you look at the solar system on the grid, You don't even see this planet. They're too small. But you see all those field lines. I showed you the drawings. Those are the plasma interactions. And for example, if you're gonna fly around the universe in a plasma-based spaceship with a plasma hull, you're gonna need to know, for example, the periodic table of elements. You need to know what elements, how all the elements interact on a plasma level, so that when you're flying into a region that's got certain plasma tune, then your hull has to be in tune, or else you're going to get dissonance and disrupt your hull. You need this, the flower of life, and a simple understanding of musical tones to be able to tune your hull. It's I really think that this needs more investigation. This flower of life.
That's
Well, it
a,
certainly makes sense.
it's a great concept that you bring up that way. It's so simple in many ways. It may very well have a direct connection there.
Well, can I share my screen
Sure.
for a minute? I want to show you. Okay.
We do have to end things fairly soon here because I need to take a break,
Yeah,
but we are getting going on it, so it's a good topic.
I just want to show you something that's another coincidence here. Let's see here. Do you see this yet? No. Share screen. Is that mine? Here's mine. Okay. You can see this. You can see
Yes.
my cursor.
Yeah.
I showed this last time, right? This I use as a grid. Now, I'll show you this picture. Yesterday, I was showing you the coincidence. What I did was I made a petal on the flower of life. That is, for each of these dots, there's a nucleus. And I took the measurements from here to show me the size of the field, because it'll show you the size of the field is the difference of the two fields crossing, which is equal to the size of the field here. What I did was, I'll blow this up a little bit. What I did was I placed a petal here, and a pedal here, and a pedal here, and a pedal here on a higher level, and then I put a coil around it to contain the field, because in the natural state, it's an automatic natural container. But if I put copper oxide there, it'll fill the container, and the container is the environment. I need a containment field. So I use a copper coil and coil it around there, coil one around there. It's a stacker coil, right? And I put 4 of them there. Now, by putting that there, I'm going to create a star formation. That's going to give me a second star formation, a third star formation. It's going to give me a bell here ringing out this note. And I do the same thing here and here. I've only got 4 notes on this grid. I use these 3 notes. But if you want an E chord, you play E, G, B. So that'll work E minor. And that'll give me a combination tone. The differences of all those frequencies will give me an octave lower. So that means I'm going to have a large superstructure plasma field ringing out that note.
Yes, you can do that, but you have to soundproof your environment, and
there's no note. The plasma field. I put copper oxide here and an anechoic coil around it. That's a plasma note, strictly a plasma note. Now I'll show you this diagram of the layout of the design I got from the Flower of Life. Here's my first, here from the side, here's from the top down, we were just looking. Top reactor here, base reactors here. Top reactor here, but it's upside down pyramid, and the base reactors here. You can see it here. Here's my top reactor. Here's my second star formation, or what do you want to call it? Here's my third star formation. I can place those on any note that I want, any combination of notes. I'll get a 3-note chord. I'll get a superstructure plasma field. It's all plasma. There's no notes. There's no sounds. You don't hear anything. It's a plasma field. But it can be tuned to any note you can plot on the grid. So if I want the Earth as an E, I play an E chord. I make the rings where we're placing them for an E and a G and a B. But here's the thing that I noticed. Especially, I showed you last time how this is a crystalline structure. It has all the same specs as the stacker units. so on and so forth. I did this from the Flower of Life. It's 100% my interpretation of understanding the Flower of Life. It was an experiment to see if I learned how to read the blueprints. If this my hypothesis is correct, this is the tool you use to travel in space. And I made the design based on that. And so far, everything, the pedal of life is a stacker coil. When I designed it, I was designing a pedal. I didn't know what a stacker unit was. I was following the blueprint. Don't have any choice. But look, yesterday, Mr. Keshe was showing the new flight reactor. I think he said the Iranians are going to come out with it. And he showed how you take a ping pong ball in the very center. I have an open central core, but you put a ping pong ball in the center. And then he said you put, I think, 80% CO2 and you have to put atomic hydrogen in. And then he said, and then you put a star formation. So he drew a circle in the center right here. And then he said, then you put a star formation. And he drew a triangle. And then he said, and then you put another star formation. And he drew it upside down like that. And he said, this is a Star of David. Now, I don't know if I showed you, I think I showed you this last time. This was me, Star of David. This was me trying to figure out some calibrations. And this is inherent in this design. But then he put a third triangle on there, and then he counted the points. Remember him doing that yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put a dot there, 9. And then he said 10 above it. When I saw him draw out the basic layout of the flight reactor that is coming out, this is it. Now, I'm not saying I designed a flight reactor. I'm not saying I designed a stacker coil. I'm saying I figured out how to read the blueprint of the universe. I figured out a basic way how to use the tool that Mr. Keshe is using. Mr. Keshe is using this for everything he designs. He knows this off the top of his head. It's really easy to learn, but I figured out how to read it. I played a chord. Mr. Keshe is Mozart. I played my first chord. But the real question is, am I reading the same music? Because if I am, this is what every human is gonna, if you're gonna go in space, everybody has to know this. You're gonna have to understand the solar system as plasma fields, not bits of matter. You're gonna have to understand what we call the elements, the interactions of plasma fields, not bits of elements. Like I said, you need to know the interaction of your hull. You got a aluminum plasma fields relative strength, not out of aluminum, but I mean, whatever your field strength of your hull is, you need to know how that's going to interact with the environment you're coming into so that you can tune it. This is the only way it can be done.
I just want to say something quickly. Thank you so much. You brought up to a point where, in terms of my understanding of it, into next level. It makes sense so much to me. Thank you.
I think I learned how, in a very simple way, and like, look, the way I did it, I'm sure Mr. Keshe will go, what is this, your first chord? You know, yeah, there's easier ways of doing it probably. But the point is, I know how, if you can plot the Earth on this grid, I can match its field strength. If you can plot aluminum, I can match its field strength. Yes. That's a very powerful thing to do.
It is. I agree. I think we need to investigate this more, and thank you for your revelations on that, Mario. It's quite interesting. It's amazing how the music world can tie into the plasma world, which ties into our other worlds, and so on and so forth. It's all interconnected for sure. Nice.
Well, to be honest, I've been doing this since July, and I spoke with Max and a few of the guys about it, but I can't sit on this by myself. If I'm right, I need help. I'm asking for anybody who's willing to work with me to help work this stuff out. And I think Robert...
I'm happy to work with you as a student, really.
No, if you study Buckminster Fuller, this is a buckyball, this particular diagram, you know a lot about this. I would like to share what I know, and then you add to that. And
sir, excuse me, I'd like to contact with you.
Please.
And
I
it's
wonder
not
if we should start a group maybe on this topic. I wonder if Robert has any insights too on how to construct this maybe on a 3D basis that might be useful.
Actually, you know what, Rick? This is 3D. You can't see. This is a snapshot of my program of my drawing. I'll send you some JPGs. If you cover one eye, you can't. You kind of can't see it here. If you cover one eye and look at it,
Yeah.
this is flat on. The real thing to do is to draw it out more complete than this. One of the other diagrams I have wrong way. Like some of these, like this one. That's too bad. That's blurry on here. I have some scans like this one or some of these drawings. You lay that down flat on your tabletop. You sit down at the table and you cover one eye. The whole image comes up 8 to 10 centimeters from the paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's on a simple size thing. It is 3D. It's the coolest thing ever. I've shown it to dozens of people. You really see it curved. You see it coming up way off the paper. It's absolutely the most amazing thing. It's really cool. I need to get some flat drawings of it, or if Robert, you know, make a few of these and then print them out. Forget about rendering it in 3D. Your brain instantly turns it into a perfect 3D image of the drawing. Instantly, no computer could come close to what it does. And there's something else about that I noticed. In the health workshop, Mr. Keshe said about the eyes, Mr. Keshe said, oh, humans really only have one eye, and we split it to get to stereoscopic vision. So now I'm thinking, well, this is as old as the ancient humans would have only seen this as a 3D image. We're the ones that are, which one's the optical illusion?
That's right.
3D, you know what I mean? But really, you can't do it with these. These are kind of there, but you need to have it flat. And this is a picture at an angle, and then it's flat here, so it's totally destroying the 3D effect. Yeah, maybe next time I'll send some JPG files, and you can put them up. People can screenshot them or whatever. You know.
Yeah, let's work with this more in the background, and maybe, like I say, we can put a group together and actually sort of get into this in more depth, or maybe we can in the next week's session. I'm thinking maybe I'll start earlier next week too if I can, and get more hours in, because we have to end things for today. I need to take a break here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop share here.
Thank you, Mario. Appreciate it very much. That's great seeing that insight there, and it's really fun connecting all the dots, so to speak, here. Okay, I got to wrap things up here and take a break. So, once again, let's.
Can I ask somehow? How do I get a hold of Robert or anybody else who's interested to do this? I mean, just wait till next week, or
Well, you can exchange emails in the chat if you want to, and then you can just go save chat, and you've got that saved that way.
Okay, I'll send my email to anybody who wants to contact me. I'll just put it in the chat.
Okay, I would love that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we can spend a couple of minutes extra to allow that any exchanges to go on in the chat there.
Thank you so much.
In the meantime, I think I'm going to end the live stream, and we'll stop the other recording.